week 4. We spent the last 3 weeks thinking about creativity. This week we're going to shift gears a bit and focus on first the entrepreneurial culture at MSU and then on entrepreneurship and intrapreneurship. I'll talk about this in this week's video and also about our week 4 readings, cases, and sparks. In May 2014, our past provost, June Uat, brought together about 60 staff and faculty to talk about entrepreneurship at MSU. At the time, MSU had a lot of exciting entrepreneurial initiatives going on, but they were happening in different units, in different departments. We didn't yet have a core home for entrepreneurial activities at the university. At a place as big as MSU, the provost knew we needed to coordinate efforts. And one of the things she challenged us to do is engage at least 2,000 undergraduate students each year in entrepreneurial activities by fall of 2016. So after this big group meeting, a smaller group of about 10 of us met over the summer to talk about how we could specifically do so, and we came up with a set of goals. First, we decided we needed to rally university-wide resources engaged in entrepreneurial activities like the Hatch, the Hive, the Creativity Exploratory I used to run, and more. Second, we developed and proposed a university-level minor in entrepreneurship that launched in fall 2016, and many of you are in this minor. Third, we developed experiences as part of the minor, which allows students to pursue and get recognized for entrepreneurial projects, even in classes that aren't otherwise focused on entrepreneurship. Fourth, we argued that every college should have an e-advisor, an academic advisor available to specifically work with students on their entrepreneurial interests. We also recommended an e-core for community-based learning and projects. We suggested the development of a university-level board to oversee entrepreneurial projects and activities. We suggested that MSU work closely with K-12 stakeholders and get middle and high school teachers and kids involved. And finally, recognizing that students can't just be entrepreneurs by taking a couple of classes, we suggested a huge range of co-curricular projects and opportunities. So that was the larger landscape, the university broad perspective. My next step was to convince faculty in my college, Arts and Letters, that we have a role to play in entrepreneurship. And a lot of humanities faculty have an old school notion that entrepreneurship only happens in business and it's always and only anchored to capitalistic practices. I argued that we have a strong role to play where social and cultural intra and entrepreneurship is concerned. I describe social and cultural entrepreneurship to my colleagues as ways in which we can pursue innovative solutions to social projects, especially what we call wicked problems. Wicked problems are issues like poverty and obesity. No one field, one profession can address these alone. We have to work together to solve them. I anchored social and cultural entrepreneurship to art and storytelling and contributions to creative and cultural economies. I shared with faculty examples from our college of humanities students already engaged in entrepreneurial work, like Kalia Stapleton, who has since graduated, but back in 2014, when we were building the Entrepreneurship and Innovation Initiative, was a senior in apparel and textile design and working to develop clothing lines for women transitioning from college to corporate life. And this isn't an example of that clothing line. But the other clothing line she was working on, literally one day you're shuffling to class in yoga pants and a sweatshirt, and the next day you expect to be wearing a blouse, dress pants, and dress shoes. That's a huge economic and cultural shift. I also talked about Phil Deaton and Ian Michael Terry, who are both undergrads in 2014 and were doing some internal intrapreneurial work to change people's ideas and practices of web accessibility by doing consulting with departments on campus. We've moved forward on this work for the past 5 years, and then this past semester, the entire Entrepreneurship and Innovation Initiative became the Burgess Institute for Entrepreneurship and Innovation. The minor, which is open to all students in all majors, is part of the Institute, and as of the start of this semester, more than 600 students are part of the minor, making it one of the largest on campus. In the initiative, there's support for students to model business, find support in all the steps of imagining, developing, planning, and launching a business. And one of the best new sources of support for doing so is the Discovery Program, which offers workshops and one-on-one support. And the next step is the Launch Program, to move from discovery and development into support and seed funding to launch a business. The Burgess Institute supports the Innovate State Speaker Series, which invites successful Spartan entrepreneurs to share their experiences. I would encourage you to check out this semester's schedule of speakers and consider going and writing up your experience for one or both of your exposure assignments. One of your creativity cases for this week, week 4, is to explore examples of Spartan entrepreneurial success, and you'll hear more about Bright Bites, Linko, Vade Nutrition, and the York Project. You'll also read about alums like Alexa Jones, Benny Ebert-Zavos, Brittany Urich, Jeff Hall, Joshua Agundu, and Malik Hall. There's a huge group of people working through the Burgess Institute, and they're here to help you imagine, develop, and launch your idea for a new business or a nonprofit. There's a student team that includes a web designer, user experience designer, communication support, graphic design, video expertise, and more. And there's a group of committed directors, faculty, and others here to help encourage you in your entrepreneurial work. As for places, the Gainer Entrepreneurial Lab is located in the Minskoff Pavilion, the amazing new building part of the business complex. The lab is home to the Business Model Canvas workshops, the Discovery program I just mentioned, Startup Weekend, and Innovate State. There's also the Hatch, which is a 24/7 co-working space for students just north of campus off of Grand River. And of course, the MSU Startup Bus, refurbished by MSU entrepreneurs to provide sponsorship and transportation. And you can read more about these amazing resources on the MSU Burgess Institute website, eship.msu.edu. One of the things you'll notice about MSU's entrepreneurial orientation is that we don't just want to cultivate and support students who go out and launch new businesses. You won't all do that, and that's okay. We also want to support students to make change within existing organizations, to engage creativity, innovation, and an entrepreneurial mindset in an existing business. That's called intrepreneurship. One definition of intrapreneurs situates them as employees within large companies who are provided freedom, time, and support to create new products, services, or systems within that company. A great example related to this definition of entrepreneurship is Google. Google encourages employees to spend about 20% of their work time thinking about projects and ideas that will benefit and innovate at Google. And Gmail was born this way. The system was imagined in 2001 and then launched in 2004. And the problem that Gmail was addressing was that, first, no email product at the time had a good search feature built in, and obviously Google is a specialist in search features. And two, no other web-based email system allowed users to save their mail, and Gmail launched with users having 1 gig of space to actually save and archive email. Another slightly different definition of intrapreneurship suggests that an intrapreneur is a person within an organization who uses entrepreneurial thinking and approaches to make change within that organization. This change might be a new product or idea, or it might just be a better way to do work inside the organization. Facebook is a good example of an organization that inspires and supports intrapreneurship. Facebook regularly hosts in-house hackathons where employees are encouraged to devote a chunk of time, say 24 hours, to creating and prototyping a new idea or product. The awesome button was a Facebook hackathon idea, which evolved into the like button. Last year, there were more than 4 million likes per minute on Facebook, and as of last month, December 2019, the like button had been clicked more than 1.13 trillion times. So if you think that entrepreneurship is limited to creating a new business, think again. Entrepreneurial thinking, practices, and processes, which we'll talk about all semester, can be applied in a range of spaces and places. You've probably noticed that I haven't assigned a reading that explicitly defines entrepreneurship or intrapreneurship. I want you to build your own definitions of these terms across this course and during the semester, and you're doing some of this definitional work for Creativity Quest 1. Although we spent the last 3 weeks reading about creativity, the first reading for week 4 is called Creativity is Not Enough. It's from 1963, but I think that arguments in the article are as relevant today as they were more than 50 years ago. The second reading is a special issue of MSU's alumni magazine titled A Vision for Success. Across the issue, examples of Spartan ingenuity, innovation, and entrepreneurship are featured. Read the entire issue. One of our creativity cases is a project I consider to be related to cultural entrepreneurship, and we'll talk about social and cultural entrepreneurship next week. First, you're going to read a brief article about Fashion for the Fire, a fashion show based on the experiences of sexual assault survivors, organized to raise funds for the Firecracker Foundation here in Lansing. And then you'll watch a video of the 2 students who launched the initiative. Our second creativity case are the MSU entrepreneurship success stories posted on the eShip website. Spend some time taking a look at and reading through these. And we have one Spark for the week. It's a short video by one of my favorite people on campus who recently retired, Carl Good, who is a faculty member and past director of the Media Sandbox in Communication Arts and Sciences. It's a video he made of the 18 superpowers of creative people. Creativity Quest 1, your webpage, is due this Saturday, February 1st by noon. You'll upload a Word document to D2L that includes your name and the URL to your website. If you haven't started yet, you're behind. If you have a good draft going, you have a few more days to do some tweaking and editing before you turn in your Creativity Quest 1 work. Spend some time this week with our readings, cases, and Spark. Post a question and 2 responses on Packback. I look forward to checking out your Creativity Quest 1 work after you upload it on Saturday.